from Sunrise Extra. Welcome back to regular life after a holiday weekend. It's a tough one, right?
Complete with COVID headlines and everything.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's a full news day again, right? Well, a lot of people had 4 days off. Brenda and Rod continuing that trajectory. So we hope that there's nicely sleeping in. But yeah, we are talking about the big news from over the weekend. If you haven't if you've tuned out everything, congratulations, because now there's a new COVID variant. And it was first discovered in South Africa. They're calling it the Omicron variant. They went to the next Greek letter.
Yeah, they're skipping all over the alphabet now, that Greek alphabet. And there's a reason why, but we're not going to get into that right here now. We're just going to get into the fact that we have another variant to deal with.
Yeah, what are you guys thinking about this? So it's been positive cases have been found in Canada, is the closest one to the U.S. They say it's inevitable it's going to come here to the U.S., but starting today, travel is restricted from South Africa and 7 other neighboring countries into to and from the U.S., and a bunch of other countries are starting to restrict travel, but as we've seen with all these other variants, it's just a matter of time. We don't know yet. They're kind of racing to study this. If it's more transmissible, if it's any more dangerous than Delta, we don't know yet. And the vaccine makers are actually looking to study it because they say they have about like a 100-day window that it would take them to tweak vaccines to make them maybe higher dosage. If you were to get, your next booster shot or a brand new vaccine or something, if needed. So, what are you guys thinking about this? I get my booster shot today, actually. Out of the OHSU drive-through site. So I'm looking forward to that.
That's your site of choice. You love the way they do it out there.
It's so easy. You don't have to get out of the car. If it's crummy weather, you just pull in there, pull out, go home.
I found that
no parking.
I guess it's easier than my scenario, although I'd have to drive longer to get to that spot.
Yeah, you're farther away.
And geez, that setup at Fred Meyer that we used was pretty darn simple too.
Yeah.
I mean, it was an easy drive from my house, and we basically entered a coat closet. I showed you the picture, like, where do they administer that shot? It looks like in the janitor's closet. No, it was a little office.
The conspiracy.
Behind the pharmacy. But man, it was so quick and simple. And the guy there at the Oregon City, Fred Meyer, the pharmacist who administered the shot, was such a cool guy.
I wonder, why are we not maybe ramping up the mass vaccination sites again?
Oh, mass vaccine
sites.
Those
were really, really easy
for
when
the
they were
boosters.
Done well, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if the demand is there yet. Right?
Okay, maybe that's the issue. Yeah.
I mean, we had those mass vaccination sites. You remember, we did for probably 3 months, from January to April. All we did were stories on people not being able to get their appointment, people waiting in line, people having difficulty scheduling an appointment. And once we got those mass vaccination sites up and running, things started to click, and those stories went away.
Yeah.
I mean, I would guess that's what it is, right?
Yeah.
The demand for the booster is not where it is today, like we had the demand for the original shot.
Yeah, because I think it was so staggered. They say get it like 6 to 8 months after you got your second dose. And so I know we were some of the first, after medical professionals, and then it was like people that, are...
Actually, I felt like I was in with everyone else. I mean, we didn't get ours until May. I
didn't get mine until May.
Yeah, so by the time I got mine, I felt like a lot of people I knew had already gotten it some way, somehow.
Yeah. So this is kind of the hot time. But OHSU, I guess the drive-through site, they're doing testing and the booster. So that's kind of a mass site where they can do, hundreds per day. But yeah, regular pharmacies, they have a couple walk-in places. But you were saying, and I don't know how much you want to talk about this.
Uh-oh.
I was just saying, I'm not excited to get the booster, but it does give me a little peace of mind. But you were like, I don't know
if it gives me any more peace of mind, honestly. I mean, I feel...
Because everything just changes so much.
Well, I'm knocking on the wood on this desk. I'm happy that not only have I not had the COVID yet, that I haven't even had to take a test yet. I have been, staying very healthy, and I'm sure that has a lot to do with, wearing the mask when I've been in, inside indoor public places. And I'm sure it has a lot to do with the fact that, I did get vaccinated back in May of this year, because, I've still traveled in that time. I haven't been hiding in my house by any means. So whatever. I guess my point is that I feel pretty good right now. I feel protected to this point. What was the original question? Why do I not want to get the booster? Oh, the booster, yeah, I don't know if I'm going to feel any more protected because we have these, things keep popping up. Let's get back to this topic. when I read this week, and the first time I saw the headline, I didn't even think it was real. Like I thought, I can't remember where the heck I saw this, new Delta variant. I'm like, this isn't real news. And oh my gosh, this is absolutely real. It's totally legit. The president's going to address the nation later today to let Americans know what our country is doing to address this new variant that was first discovered in South Africa. But I did have that feeling that I'm noticing a lot of our viewers on Facebook have. It's like, when is it going to end? And so that's what I
keep mutating.
Yeah, and we'll just
That's
have to
what
keep
it's going to do until it becomes the seasonal flu.
And that brings up my next point, because someone did ask Chris this very question. Where is it at? I think it was. Okay, Bonnie says, "Hey, hello, Bonnie. It makes me sad. It also makes me wonder, when will this all end?" And I'm thinking, like you just said, it's never going to end.
Yeah.
It's not like we're just going to eradicate. This thing just popped up and it's been furious for a year and a half. It's not just going to go away.
No.
Hopefully we can get it down to where it is like the flu, where, for the most part, we're not afraid of the flu. Some people choose to get the shot every year, and that helps keep them protected. Even those who don't get the shot, still feel pretty safe from the flu in terms of it killing them.
I mean, influenza kills a lot of people.
I know it does, Chris.
And it's also a really gnarly, it knocks you out for, a week to 10 days if you get it and you're not, hospitalized. We've gotten flu shots now for the last, decade. I used to be not real big on taking shots, but I'm like, I've had the flu a few times.
Right.
It sucks.
Man, when you get it really good, it is really bad. Like on about the third day of the fever, when you're sitting in bed and you're generally a pretty healthy person and you're wondering like, oh, this is pretty serious.
Yeah, the flu is no fun.
Yeah.
I swear, something happened in me like 2011. I had some kind of, I had a virus, unexplained virus. There was a couple of theories on how I got this virus. It happened at the time, like I hurt my elbow. And I got a shot for that to reduce the inflammation. And soon thereafter, I had, what was thought to be a reaction to that. But anyways, I turned into this crazy virus, ended up in Meridian Park Hospital for 4 nights. I was in the emergency room, surrounded by doctors. My wife was there. I remember the doctor saying to my wife, his white blood cell count is at leukemia levels right now. We don't know what's wrong with him. Like all this.
What did you feel like?
Death. I mean, like my temperature was 105 when I was home.
Yeah.
I almost felt like I couldn't walk down the stairs, like I was going to pass out. Someone was going to have to take me to the car. It was very crazy. And the first 2 nights at the hospital, I remember laying there thinking like, wow, like am I dying? Like am I going to die? This is not getting better. And then something happened on night, day 3. Before night 3, and I could just feel that shift. Like my body started to feel stronger, better, like I'm fighting and I'm winning again. And by day 4, it's like, wow, I feel a lot better, then I'm out. Since that time, I don't know what the heck happened inside of my body with that, but since that time, I haven't even had the flu. At all. I have not been sick at all in almost a decade of serious nature, like a sniffles, a runny nose. I swear to my thought is, and I talk to doctors about this, they go, no, you're making that up in your head. I feel like something happened inside my body and my immune system went into overdrive, and now I'm protected somehow from all this craziness.
During that hospital stay, they took out the microchip that they injected you with when you got the shot.
When you're talking about being knocked out for days from the flu, I'm listening to you going, I don't even know what that's like anymore.
Yeah.
I don't get the flu shot.
I don't.
I can't explain it. Now I know I'm not COVID proof. I know that much for sure.
Well, we know nobody is that proof, and we know nobody's flu proof. I mean, but.
But I do know I'm upset.
Vaccines help.
And I'm upset to hear that there's yet another thing to deal with. But they don't know yet how serious this variant is, compared to say the Delta variant. They certainly don't know yet if the vaccines we currently have in place will protect you against this particular.
It is encouraging to hear that, that they've got samples of it, that they're already working on it. They're already looking at the gene sequencing of it so that they can, figure out where this thing's weaknesses are and tweak the vaccine if need be to attack this thing's weaknesses, right? That's great.
But anyone who wants to declare an ending to COVID, never mind. Stop thinking about it. Stop trying to do it.
Yeah, I think
there
we're
will
just
not be an
gonna have to
end
live with
date. It's not like,
5 years.
March 13th, we killed
5 years.
COVID.
Yeah.
5 years.
And then it'll go away forever?
No.
No. I mean, it's never going away.
It'll just fade to the background of it's an acceptable number of people that are going to die from it every year.
Yeah.
And I know how morbid that I just said that is, but that's just reality, right? It's acceptable that in the world this many people die of the flu and we go about our business because that's the way we do. I mean, so that's Yeah.
Somebody was asking, Matt Thornton says, why do they call this one Omicron? In the Transformers, Omicron was a planet destroyer.
I know. Why wasn't it like a
So the last one they were on, the next Greek alphabet letter would have been new, N-U, but they said that sounds a little confusing, like N-E-W, the word new. So they didn't want to use that. The next one was Chi, X-I.
Chi. Yeah.
Chi, is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Well,
Chi.
wouldn't Chi be C-H-I?
No, it's Chi.
X-I.
Think
Because
about
it's like,
sorority sisters
like
and
Chinese
fraternity
president.
Yeah, how do you know? Like, I know
G?
the,
Is that how you say it? XI. Anyway, they didn't want to use that because of the pronunciation stuff, and that I think it has, it's a common last name for Chinese families, and so they didn't want to use that. So the next one was Omicron, so that's why they chose that name.
So is that the 15th letter of the Greek alphabet that we're on now?
I'm looking at the Greek alphabet right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this is 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yes, sir. Good job, Drew.
Several people saying they've been, Mary Rodriguez says, I've been fully vaccinated, but I still got COVID, and I was very sick, and it was horrible. Thank goodness my family didn't get it, so I'm not sure if all will get the boosters. We live in a sad world right now. Linda, as we're responding to her, she says, I have a relative who's fully vaccinated with the booster who also now has COVID.
So, I mean, don't you think we're just, you know, every individual is obviously affected differently by this, and some people are more susceptible to it than others, like with any disease. You know, some people are born with this predisposed or tendency to get all kinds of diseases that I don't want. And it's just like, I hear those stories. I feel terrible for those people. You're doing everything you can.
Yeah.
You're going ahead and, you know, you're
My thing is, I would just be pissed if I didn't get the booster, and
you got it.
And I, you know, like whatever, but okay, I did all the measures that I could take, and like, let's just throw our hands to, you know. No, I agree with you. See what happens.
I agree with you because, like, to this point, if I had gotten it, I can't say I didn't try to not get it.
Right. Yes. That whatever it's called, I don't know, like, matters to me. I don't want to be regretting something I didn't do that I could have done, I guess. I don't know. Have you gotten sick very much from your kids? God, I feel like we've been sick a lot.
I got sick, 2019 was a year that.
Oh, so that's it? That's the last time?
No.
Okay.
No. I had a sore throat, like, I don't know, last week. And
yeah.
That's just now. That's just. Although again, it's like, is it COVID or a cold?
Oh, it's such a pain in the butt now.
What do you do? Do you go get tested?
Well, so I think the general rule of thumb is like, you know, are you feverish? You know, if you know, that's usually a good indicator of how sick you are. I mean, I've had a bunch of sore throats since, you know, our kids have been back in school, and they bring everything home, and you know, they've been feverish at times. We have not, thankfully, and so no, I
keep taking your temperature, and if it's good.
Yeah, and we have that, you know, temporal scanner because, you know, it's just you know, taking your temperature once a day is not good enough, so you know, you check a few times, and and then there's the days when you feel feverish even though you don't have a fever. Like, I hate those days.
Again, I can't relate, but go on.
Yeah, you're like Mr. Super Immune
Well,
System here,
his
Drew.
kids, I mean, they're wearing masks at school, you know. They're not little kids putting everything in their mouth and touching their nose all the time. So that's very, you know, it's a good stage to be in.
Obviously, last week, the big news, the big COVID headline was we were getting rid of the outdoor mask mandate in Oregon. And then the school sent home a letter talking about that, hey, when the kids are outside for recess, they no longer have to wear their masks, only when they're inside. And I came home and I told the boys, like, hey, you don't have to wear your mask outside, you know, when you go out of recess. They're like, well, I haven't been wearing my mask. And it was almost like, not like defiantly, like he thought like, I didn't know I was, you know, like not that he didn't know he was supposed to, but apparently a lot of those kids had been taking it off outside anyways.
Are they eating lunch outside?
I think you have the choice to do it either or. It sounds like, actually eat indoors before they head outside, my boys.
Okay.
But they don't have like a cafeteria.
That's I mean, they normally do, but that's
and they were eating in their classroom last year, at the end of last school year, before summer showed up, obviously.
Well, where do they eat now? Either outside or.
I haven't really talked to them about it, Nina. I can't figure it out. All I know is this: they don't have enough time to eat their lunch. That's the big issue for me, not where they're eating. I want to know, why aren't you finishing your lunch? And they go, we don't have enough time.
That's what we always said.
And I go,
too. It's because you're yapping.
That's what I said. I said, what do you mean you don't have enough time?
You're taking too long.
We had a 50-minute lunch period.
They say they have like less
than a half hour.
They say they have like 10 minutes to eat, but I think it's because they want to head outside. Is what I'm reading into this. Like they only have 10 minutes to eat, or else they're going to miss out on whatever game is being played out there. Like you packed a yogurt and a juice. Like you couldn't finish that in 10 minutes. Sometimes they'll bring home the same lunch that they brought.
And how's that
Oh,
enough?
no.
That was not enough for me when I was that age.
No, it's weird.
Still isn't.
No, I don't know how they're doing it, but it's probably why they're still 90 pounds.
Well, that and they run around a lot.
Yeah.
Mark Burgal,
Yes.
Says, it doesn't matter to me. Fully vaccinated, we have been staying home for the most part. I've always felt this would go on a long time as we're an individualistic culture where so many are unconcerned about the larger community.
It's a really good point. What did Mark?
Let's see. Oh, other people talking about the name of it. Beverly Raffaelli says we need to mask up in stores, etc., and wash your hands. Keep hand sanitizer in the car. Get vaccinated if you haven't. Use Lysol on packages that have been delivered to your door. I don't think we're going to do that
haven't gone that
anymore.
far.
Yeah, I'm now. It's like first when COVID came.
Yes. Take your jeans off when you come home from Safeway is what I was
Right?
told.
Yeah.
Take your clothes off.
Yeah,
Take
I
'em
didn't
off
have
from-
my,
Put the bags down and get naked.
I joked with my wife and I called them my coveralls.
Put them on when you go out.
Coveralls.
Yeah. But I don't know. I mean, we'll just see. I think there's just going to be a bunch more variants, and it just mutates. And it doesn't mean that. I mean, we don't know. It doesn't mean that it's any more dangerous or whatever. It just is different.
I guess someone here asked our bosses recently, when can we start wearing or when can we take our masks off? And obviously, the three of us are wearing no masks here inside the studio, and that's how it's been for months now. But in the general areas of the building, we're all still wearing masks.
Yep.
You leave your desk, you put your mask on. And, selfishly, I don't like that. Not because I don't like wearing the mask, but I miss, there's people who work here, they've been here for over a year, I don't even know what they look like. I literally, if I have seen them at their desk with their mask off, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's what that person looks like. I had no idea. I hate that part of this in our society.
Yeah.
I mean, this is our identifiers, right?
Yeah.
We're clothes to cover up the rest of our body,
Yeah.
so I can't identify you by your body.
Well,
I identify you by your face. I don't even know these faces anymore.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
It really is terrible.
It's like, for me, I feel comforted going to Freddy's or whatever, knowing that, like, seeing everybody wear a mask and, like, I'm
Yep.
wearing a mask. I'm like, okay, I feel good about that. I mean, and I brought this up before, like, even COVID or no COVID, I mean, you think about it, it's cold and flu season. I don't want to get sick. It helps. I mean, it doesn't just help you not get COVID, it helps you not get everything that's
Yeah.
out there. I mean, wouldn't you like to not get a cold? So, like, I'm all on board with that, but I totally agree. Like, it removes another layer of connection,
Yep.
recognition, etc. amongst
can't-
our friends and coworkers, and so from that perspective, it sucks.
It makes communication obviously more difficult. I really have a hard time, especially in our newsroom where we have plastic barriers, clear plastic barriers up
Oh,
around
he
our
can't
desks.
hear a
Shields.
freaking thing.
And if
Yeah.
you come and try to talk to me with your mask on the other side of the plastic barrier, forget about it. It's like I cannot.
It's
what?
especially when you're trying to have a really, like, down low conversation,
Oh, yeah.
and you're like,
Hey, you have to bring that one around the plastic, please. You have to bring that conversation around the plastic.
Yeah, no kidding.
Wow, it's already
are we gonna
7:25.
have to break COVID protocols to have this discussion?
Misty Berry says the whole thing is frustrating. I'm frustrated about COVID and each new variant. I'm frustrated by people's reactions to a health issue and how it's been turned into a political statement by so many. Yes, it is all very frustrating. Thank you.
Yeah, I did see someone at Safeway. Surprisingly, when I was doing my, I had a run there on Thursday itself, Thanksgiving Day, and someone was in the line. Not in my line, but another line, not wearing a mask. I hadn't seen that in a while in Safeway. And a customer, I'm like, huh, is that an accident? Did they forget to put their mask on? Has anyone said anything to them? Or are they just anti-mask? What's going on there? And, fact of the matter is, I will, as long as the employees at Safeway are continuing to wear masks, I will wear my mask too. And it's almost more than anything out of respect to them.
Sure.
You have to wear yours.
100%.
I'll wear mine.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good
All
night.
right, you guys.
Byron says that's it. Our director says we got to go.
We'll see you tomorrow.